Thank you for coming into my Christmas wonderland.
Ho, ho, ho.
Ho, ho, ho. We ready to go.
Ready to go. That's the tagline for this week's episode.
Ho, ho, ho. We ready to go.
We're ready to go. Here we go. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Residential Remix Podcast, episode 9. We made sure not to forget it this time. I am Dennis Stryker.
Derek Infiesta.
And we are back at Casa de Infiesta. And as you can see, Christmas absolutely threw up.
It went like from straight up Halloween, scary, all the, classic Halloween movie villains here in the house. And then from one day to the next, November 1st hits, and it's this. You don't see it, but there's multiple Christmas trees in this house. And
how many Christmas trees are you up to now?
We owned 3, and I just ordered. We went to a full Grinch theme this year.
I love it.
I got tired of the traditional, we call it the traditional Cuban, tree and look, where there's, over the top, silver and red and white. We went with traditional. We were gonna get away, and my kids were like, "Can we do Grinch?" And I'm like, "Say less."
Absolutely.
Say less. So then I Google Grinch, and there's aisles of Grinch at Hobby Lobby.
Yep.
And we just cleared out just cleared it out from everything. So work in progress on the Grinch tree, which is on the other side of my house.
I like it.
We are working on it, but Grinch is throwing up in my house. It's going to be just fun and green. And my landscaper is working so I can put Christmas lights up.
I love it. I do think it's a little early, and I'm only going off the vibe my wife likes to keep.
Yeah.
We did take down all of the fall decorations, all the Halloween stuff, but we haven't gone head first into Christmas yet.
But you have pumpkins.
Everything is down.
All your fall stuff is down.
I took down the 12-foot skeleton. I took down the pumpkin arch.
The scary stuff is down, but you don't keep any of the pumpkin arch, because you remember your stuff is like folly and scary. Right. My stuff is just scary. You have one or the other. You either have goons and ghosts and goblins over here.
No, we do.
Or you got Christmas.
We always put more focus into fall, and we usually come back from Thanksgiving. So Thanksgiving Day, we usually do a trip. We don't do the traditional, all the family comes to the house, cook the turkey, whip the mashed potatoes. We try to do a trip. Last year, we went to St. Augustine. Year before that, I think we were up in New York. Year before that, we were in Orlando. This year, we're going back to Orlando. And
me, I love me some Orlando.
And we know we love it. And we actually are trying to plan an extra day. We'll see if we can get Razor on board.
I'm on to go anyways.
But our Thanksgiving dinner has really turned into, like, last year we did seafood. The year before that we did Italian.
Are you picking a restaurant in Orlando to go to?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And so when we come back from that trip is usually when we put the tree up and decorate the tree. My
thing is, you have 30 days to make this mess, and that's it.
I know.
I feel like it's never long enough. Right. So since my old house, we came up with the tradition to do Christmas 1st. November 1st. Man. Eden is on it. If we didn't have the DJ all weekend, I would have done it. I would have done it November 1st. I started on Sunday. And between Amazon, Hobby Lobby, and everywhere else. And I was sitting there, and people are like, "What you doing in here?" It's like I feel like I'm the only dude in here. I'm like, literally everyone else in there is just like designers and I felt like I was the only guy in Hobby Lobby. Probably. And then buying stuff. And it was funny because I'm like trying to match stuff. It's just my thing. Christmas is my thing.
I would, if it was up to me, I think I would probably I don't know. Like, part of me wants to appreciate it, and because November and December is such a crazy month for us business-wise,
it is.
We're not home enough to appreciate it. So it's almost like it makes sense to get it up early. That way we have that full 2 months to enjoy.
That's why I like to see it. Yeah. I mean, I smell it in here. It smells like Christmas.
Oh, it smells great. This is my favorite smell
Christmas.
Of all. Like, if I could have a candle all year long, it would be the balsam and cedar, or I think it's called Christmas tree at Yankee
We
Candle.
Bought a couple of them. They haven't been lit yet, but that's just a tree smell that's in here.
It's great.
Man,
it's great.
Crazy weekend. We went to the Cruz Building.
We did.
So if you've never been to the Cruz Building, it's in Coral Gables, roughly. I don't even know the area. It's down south. It's in Miami. It's in a neighborhood where we didn't expect to be Now, when I go to Miami, and my biggest fear in Miami is the mistreatment, the I don't care, figure it out.
Yep.
Park where you got to park, do
Yep.
what you got to do, not my problem. And that's the issues I've faced in Miami. Now, the Cruz Building has to have the nicest staff I've ever met.
Oh, they were all great.
They were amazing. The lady's like, hey, my car is here blocking. I saved you 2 spots because I bring a large trailer. And they're like, I'm going to move forward and you can just take up the whole street.
Yep.
Like, she didn't make me pull around 20 different times. It was such an easy unload. We were right in front of the building. We're able to unload. Then I moved it forward even more to not being like in the way of people and buses that were unloading guests. 3 stories of gear.
That was a bit crazy.
3 stories of
The
gear.
load-in was easy, but then the setup
The amount of gear.
and one elevator.
One elevator. I love the fact that this place, if you haven't Google it, if you're watching this, or you're on your phone, Google the Cruz Building.
Right.
We're gonna post some pictures of it, but it's so like subway. It reminds me of New Orleans.
New Orleans meets New York is what I thought.
New Orleans meets New York.
Very,
Man, this
very-
place
yeah,
is.
very
It
cool.
was cool. It was cool, and the pictures were amazing.
Yep.
And just, I mean, we knew the clients personally. We've done several events for them. Amazing clients. So the ease of walking in, and the expectations were there. They already knew what they wanted. Even their booth to look like. We made a custom DJ booth to match the decor.
Yep.
And after again looking at pictures and going everything, and just as like I said, with the help and the setup, you guys crushed it. My favorite was going to lunch.
That's how we knew we were in Miami. Like if there was any question what the area code was, we knew we were 305 when that bill was almost 305.
It was 300, 297 or something. It was,
and it
for
was
lunch.
we had like chicken nuggets.
All right. So in my defense, I've never been this area. I'd never go. So if you go to down south, it's near Bodega. So it's like
Yeah. 4
if
minute
you're
walk.
in Miami near the Bodega in Miami, the nightclub, it's in that area. Right. So that's where we were at. That's where the Cruz Building's at. So we were all done, a solid hour and a half. We were done an hour and a half in advance. And so I'm like, guys, I'm going to go buy you lunch because, we worked hard. Plus the drive, everything else sucks. So we go to lunch. So there's a taco place, but the taco place looked like a bougie. It wasn't like a Rocco's Tacos. It looked like a bougie taco place where I'm like, I can't do it. No. They're going to give us a little taco or something there. So I'm like, let's just go. We saw what was it? A red something.
Red duck,
red farm,
red something farm,
farm. It was like a kapow. So to put it in like terms so everyone locally understands, it's like a kapow meets fine dining.
They said modern
Asian. I don't know. Reminded me of kapow. So we ordered chicken nuggets on the happy hour menu.
Yeah.
Chicken nuggets that were pretty bomb.
They were really good.
Jalapeno poppers. What did you order?
Close.
What was that?
Shrimp stuffed shishito peppers.
Popper? Is that what it is?
Pretty much. I mean, a shishito, it looks like a jalapeno. The shrimp was good because the shrimp was stuffed in the shishito and then it was tempura battered and dropped in the fryer.
And we ordered a round of drinks.
Yes, we did.
To celebrate that we got done early. So Casamigos. And each of us had a cocktail afterwards.
Yep.
Standard cocktail. Standard issue.
No, this wasn't fancy.
This wasn't fancy. It was not a crazy, give me this crazy smoked.
No, none of
something.
that.
No, it was like Captain and Coke. I mean, let's be honest, what we do.
Yeah, it's always the same.
It was very simple. You are like, hey, here's my credit card. Just split it in half. I'm like, I got this. What is it going to be? $100? Give me a break. Bro, the bill came out. It was $300, $294. I looked at Chris and I was like, fuck, where's Stryker? Where's Stryker's credit
Go
card?
grab his card.
Yo, in my life, have I had 2 appetizers on a happy hour menu? And the guy looked at me like I had a great deal. He was like, bro, you saved so much money. You got a deal. And I'm like, is there like an extra in the biz deal?
Right,
like,
seriously.
Holy crap. Where does this come from? I don't understand where the pricing. That's how you said that's how you knew you're in Miami.
That's how you know you're in Miami. Everything is at least 15 to 20% more expensive.
Man, it was good though.
I mean, it was good.
The drinks were the drinks though.
The drinks were the drinks.
But
and that was the majority of the money because like you said, the chicken nuggets were like 15, $16, Mine was 9, and there was only 3 of them. So
Yeah, there was 3 little
Small.
jalapeno
$9.
popper looking things.
So that means our drinks were $260.
The drinks were $260. We got to stop. We stop drinking. We'd save all kinds of money.
That's probably true.
It was far. And then to make it worse, it was the only place on the block that wasn't selling wine.
Yes. Yeah. That was the only thing with the
everywhere
bar.
was beer and wine. It was the only bar. So Chris and I, while you were doing the ceremony, so the room had to be flipped. So it went from the ceremony was where the reception was being held. So when the ceremony was done, we had to flip an entire room, bring in trussing on dollies, bring in truss. Everything was already pre-staged to just roll into the room. And while you were doing ceremony and dinner, Chris and I went back to the bar.
You mother.
We went back to the bar.
Really?
We did. I'm sorry.
Damn.
We did.
I don't feel so bad for you getting stuck with the first bill then.
I went back and we took the second round of punishment, Chris and I. We were like, why are we here? And I'm like, there's just nothing else to do. Sorry, we just want to let you know, me and Chris had a drink without you.
I probably would have done the same thing had it been opposite.
If
you were
I
doing
was
the ceremony,
doing the ceremony, you would have
we
went
would have
with
been doing the
Chris.
same
Let's
thing.
be
Yeah,
honest.
that's
So
true.
it's just call a spade a spade. And
I did try to
went.
make up for it with dinner on the drive home, though.
Taco Bell. Wow. Okay. We're not going to mention the full story of how we got there, but we ended up getting to Taco Bell. And the guy pulls up and he's like, yo, we closed. The lunch, we ain't taking no more orders, but there's people standing out there. Stryker is like, what do you mean? There's all kinds of people here. Oh, those are mobile orders. You pop out your phone. He said, say less.
Yeah, we parked and we placed the order.
Hell yeah. Parked, and we ordered, but then that was like a 30, 45 minute ordeal.
Yeah, that was a long time. We could have been home. I could have
made dinner here. I think I could have went to Denny's by the time we got Taco
For real.
Bell.
It was a long wait. It was good though. It was worth it.
Yeah, it was good.
Been a
It was
while
delicious.
since I had Taco Bell.
It got me home. It definitely got me home. And we have a new president, ladies and gentlemen.
We do. We will talk about the election results. Nothing more, nothing less.
We how did you find the results?
I think it surprised everybody on both sides. Look, whether you were blue or voting red, it was a surprise to see. Number one, the voter turnout was incredible. I mean, there were more people that voted this year versus the election 4 years ago. It was very weighed in one direction. Though the results,
I think it was a lot of different people voted this year. Because I think the numbers that I saw, and I want to say it was on a podcast, they said something close to like 10 million, a difference of 10 million votes of people. Yeah. Some people didn't go in total nationwide, but more different demographics went and voted.
Yeah, and that makes sense too when you look at, what was it, 3 states that were flipped? I mean, that alone shows that there was a different mentality towards your civic duty of voting this year, which I think is great. I tried to instill it into my kids, and they watched a little bit of the results before they went to bed. And at 14 and 11, you can explain to them as much as they will understand without also, I don't want to give them my opinion and have them make the decision based on my opinion. Growing up, I think we kind of talked about it a little bit on the last podcast. Growing up, there was not a lot of conversation about politics in my house. Right. My mother I grew up without a dad, and my mother her focus was the kids, right? I have 2 sisters and a brother. It was always about us, and she didn't really educate me on politics. So a lot of my opinion came from education and just self-learning. So I kind of want the kids to have that opportunity as well. I will say that my oldest daughter registered to vote and voted this year, and I took her to register for her voting rights.
And that's cool.
Her license.
Mila won't vote until she's 21.
Are they? Why?
When I did the math and how old she is,
until she can.
She won't be able to vote for the next president until she's 21 years old. Eden gets to vote next election. 4 years because she's 15 now. So she'll be able to vote at the next election. Mila won't vote until she's 21.
Do you think 18 is old enough to make that conscious effort and decision?
I think a lot of look at the college. Look at the college, I guess, kids now compared to when we were in college. I feel like it's different. Yeah. It's almost like, going out. Or it's almost like, and think about the stuff we were doing, let's be honest, at our age.
Of course.
And then now our kids at that age, I think it's all a little different. I don't know. I mean, again, you can go fight a war. You can go fight a war. You can buy cigarettes, right? I think you can buy cigarettes at 18, but you can't drink.
Right.
So you can go shoot somebody abroad, but you can't, buy a Captain and Coke.
Yeah.
So that's always a question for me, like why? Almost at this point should be 18 like it is in other countries to drink or hang out and do whatever you want to do. Can you make a decision? Yes. I think if you can go again, pick up a gun and go shoot somebody, you should be able to vote for the person that you're about to protect. I turned on The View because that's like the most epic left side that you can get as a talk show collectively. Oh yeah. So everybody on that panel is complete Democrat. You know it. They talk about it. They bash the Republican Party constantly. And so I turned it on because I wanted to see what their reaction was going to be. What was Whoopi's reaction? She's like, I'm not going to say his name, still dragging him through the mud. But then Joe Rogan, if you listen to Joe Rogan's podcast, this start of his podcast, do you remember when The View welcomed you in?
I remember them talking about that.
And I went back and I looked, and sure enough, they're like, this is my friend Donald Trump, and they welcomed him. Everyone hugged and kissed him. And then until he became president, and every network seamlessly said, we're going to boycott this guy. We're just going to just crush him for 4 years. They had made a couple comments, and I'll tell you, two of the people on their panel, I don't know their names, had said, I think it was a angry vote. I think people went out and just were tired of going to the gas station, tired of going to get groceries, tired of doing everything that's so expensive. Yeah. And people almost angrily just voted. They're like, I just have to make a change. It ain't working. And it was working fine. Then Democrats came into party. It completely 360'd.
Right.
So, and their thing is, I got to go back to where I know it was affordable, where I know things were good.
Well, and that leads to my next question is that, do you think that a lot of the voters were swayed because they have an example of what he's capable of accomplishing in office?
I think so. I think that's where the vote was. I honestly think people came out and just said, I am just tired. This was a revenge vote. This was a angry vote. This was a vote out of where am I at right now financially? Yep. I think this was you weren't voting for essentially your favorite party. I personally know one of our best friends voted a different route this year because he's like, the party wasn't what the party used to be, what it used to mean. Right. Exactly. And this is the only Cuban guy. I mean, again, if you're a Cuban, I don't think you should be a Democrat because they kind of this whole socialism of it and the whole communist, it check your steps. So if you grew up in Cuba, again, technically, you shouldn't vote Democratic. But I know a ton of Cubans who are like, eat, sleep, Democratic Party, right? And so it's so weird to see. But this year, a lot of those same people voted red.
The perfect example is the turn from Miami. Miami-Dade was a red
I just don't understand
county.
why Palm Beach and the amount of
you don't understand why. I mean, just drive over that bridge onto Palm Beach Island. And
but there's not that many people on Palm Beach Island.
Year-long residents? No. But then go down to Manalapan. Manalapan is the annual residents that are, those people.
Is it the older people voting Democrat? Is it the older? Like, again, think about, again, I'm not a very political person, but I face value listening to podcasts. But like the Jewish vote, a lot of it turned. A lot of it because they're not getting the support from Israel that they should have had with this current president.
100% is true. And also, do you want more of the same? And we talked about this when I got here to start setting up, is the fact that the Democratic nominee was not the Democratic nominee that they chose.
Also true.
She wasn't voted to be the nominee based on all of the primary elections. She was kind of a replacement, and that's not. I'm not talking down about her, so please don't come at me in my DMs.
Yeah, don't come at me. She's the best.
This is a
blanket statement. These are blanket statements for commenting on other people's views, like The View, like what they said.
Right.
So we're not. We never really say vote. We say get out there and vote, and
that's it.
We're not saying go for a party. As much as you know the color of my hat, but we're good.
She was a replacement, though. She was a replacement. A lot of people were not happy about that because we want the opportunity to vote for who runs our country in all stages of the process. We vote for the primary, we vote for the election, and it is, it makes you feel good as an American. This is This is it.
What I mean, the Republican primaries, for example, we had DeSantis, you had a lot of great candidates.
Yeah, we did.
And Trump never even went to a single debate. He was just like, why? It's going to be me. Like, why do you guys are wasting your time? And I felt like that was his attitude the entire time. And then everyone just said bye and just started just dropping off. Pop, 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 pop,
And
pop.
I mean, as somebody that wants to be as neutral as possible, there were some great options for Republican candidates.
Yeah.
There, obviously, we got, Daddy Ron. DeSantis was.
I would have been sad to see him leave Florida.
I mean, the state that we live in, sure, but I think he would have done a great job running the country. I also like Ramaswamy. I thought he was.
That was a short. Where's he from? Indian or?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, he was great.
He
spoke well.
Everything he said,
spoke presidential.
Right, exactly.
It was like Obama, like back in the day. When you heard Obama come out and speak, you were like mesmerized because he just so well put together. Spoke just. I mean, you were just like, yes, this guy's got my vote. And he is presidential.
That is. I mean, and I think everybody on all sides can just agree that when Joe Biden gets in front of a microphone, it doesn't flow. And as DJs, when we get in front of a microphone, we want to make sure everything that comes out flows, right? It's important to us. And we notice little ticks and things that just, it didn't translate well into
Do you
the
think
cameras.
there was a better nomination? Could there have been a better person? Someone would have taken him out. Who would you think would have taken him out?
On the Democratic side?
Yes.
I would have loved to see Robert Kennedy stick to the party that I think his family is known for. JFK was an incredible Democratic president.
Had I think I saw 600 or to 1 million votes.
And that was probably based only on his name.
Was that a waste of a vote, though?
It was. And when you don't get the opportunity, we can all say that we are, unfortunately, a two-party country. Throw in a couple other options. We have the Green Party, who, Jill Stein was the nominee this year. They never tend to get any kind of notice or airtime. Right. And you've got you've got multiple parties, but we stick to the Republican and Democrats. That's what we see. That's what we know. I think had RFK had the opportunity to be a little bit more at the forefront, get some more exposure for what he was actually wanting to stand behind, I think he could have had a better opportunity. Right. So he probably should have stuck with the familial Democratic Party, get some more exposure on that side, and I think he would have had at least a more fighting chance than a difference of, what was it, like a 2% difference on a million votes, some crazy number.
It wasn't even funny. So I did hear her speech, her conceding.
It was a good speech.
It was a great speech.
It was a good speech.
It was a motivating speech because it wasn't the boo-hoo speech that I think you would have seen on the other side.
Yeah.
It wasn't a blame game. It was, we did our best. I did everything I possibly could.
Yep.
And don't give up hope. Right. And if you are a diehard blue, don't give up hope. Just 4 years are coming. The 4 years during Trump, other than COVID, we didn't go to war. It wasn't, everyone's like, it's going to be terrible. It's going to be so bad, but nothing happened.
Right.
So in hindsight, did people vote because of that? We already knew nothing happened. We had all these conflict again now in the last 4 years. Is it going to be conflict free? Hamas just put out a statement saying that they're already stopping the war immediately. Yeah. I already saw Trump Jr. post that this morning. So you see things are changing quickly. Speaking of change the market, I've already gotten 10 phone calls.
I got 3 texts just yesterday morning before I post something on Instagram talking about the people that were waiting for the election. And we jokingly talked about it. We said, everybody in our CRM, you guys are all waiting.
Back to the fence.
Election is over. Get on the phone. And I got 3 texts of people saying, hey, when can we expect to see rates start to go down? When should we start shopping? And the great part about shopping right now is that your closing date is going to be after the first of the year. You get to enjoy the Christmas, you get to enjoy Thanksgiving, but if you're shopping right now, you will get that closing date of the first of the year and not have to worry about any of the stress.
Yeah.
We're also going to see what I hope to be some positive fluctuations on the interest rates. They're not going to change immediately, right?
So rates were funny this week. Mortgage rates, the day before the election went up or went down because again we work different. Are almost like negatively is positively
Negative is
affecting.
good,
Right,
yeah.
where our rates, the way we look at it is different. So the rates had went down for the general public. Rates went down the day before the election. Day of election, they went back up. The same it went down. So it went down a quarter, went up a quarter. And these are rough numbers. It was like 0.23, 0.21, whatever. So about a quarter. And then yesterday, the stock market rallied. And if anyone hasn't opened up their Robinhood account,
Stocks
open up your Robinhood
flying.
account. Crypto was flying.
Love it.
I was like, to the moon. Let's go.
The only guy who still has Dogecoin.
I still have I have so much Dogecoin. I have a couple million I have 17 million of something. I don't know. I got everything that Johnny just told me to buy. I just bought, and we've had it since COVID, and I still have. I remember, I mean, the swings we had back in those days were amazing, but I just kept it all. Even when it crashed, I kept it all because I'm like, what am I going to do? This money's spent. This money lost. I'm done. So a couple grand there. But then I saw it last night. And I almost cashed out. I'm like, shit, I should cash this out. And my wife was like, do not cash out. What are you doing?
Wow. Good
Yeah,
for her.
Leticia was like, just forget about it. Just like it went up from here. What if Elon, what if Elon does something crazy in the next 6 months and all of a sudden, it goes skyrocket again. So where she told me to hold, I didn't sell. I was going to sell.
As close as Trump and Elon have become in these last couple of years, this last year,
it's kind of freaking awesome.
do you see a possibility of Elon ever getting into politics or even maybe getting like a cabinet position or something?
Would you vote for Elon? We just went back to voting. Sorry, guys. But this
I
is
know.
kind of
I'm sorry. I couldn't help it. This is
kind of. But
this is fun to talk about.
I
think Elon is such a he gets my attention when I see him post or talk about something. Do I think that he's also not a natural born American? He was born in South Africa. I don't think he could ever run.
I don't know the qualifications for president.
My wife, and she schooled me on it. I believe you have to be a natural born U.S. citizen. And
you got me there.
I think you have to be like 32 years old or something like that. But I don't think he can run. If anybody knows, send us a DM, drop it in the comments.
Here comes Julian. Julian's about to comment.
I can't wait for this call. Can Elon Musk run for president?
And would you vote?
I
think I would.
I
think so. Go back to real quick. Again, we'll go back to rates.
Yeah.
I think Michelle Obama or someone like that.
Yep.
I think that would have been the better choice.
Agreed.
I think it would have been a harder race.
I agree.
Because in the background, you were like, oh, Obama's going to run this joint. You know what I mean? So you were like, oh, it's an Obama. We're good. So I think that would have been a better choice than the vice president. So that's just me.
I like
just saying. It would have been harder.
All right. Let's go back to
let's go back to go back to rates. Rates were rates went up and down, but today they're rallying again.
And today there's a Fed announcement also.
There is. So let's hope
a Fed at least a quarter percent.
But do they still lower it now in hindsight of the new president and the entire? I mean, again, you got to look at it as the stock market's
he's not
up.
The president yet, though.
Not the president yet, but people feel great. I feel the atmosphere has changed in a lot, and especially on social media. I get the angry stuff, but people have hope. People are looking. The encouragement is there. I think people are like, yes, I'm good. They have. They feel like stability's coming. They feel the change is coming. So they still drop it?
I think they do. Okay. I think they still do, just because there has been that trend, and they've already kind of hinted at least a 0.25%. Some people were talking about 0.5%. I didn't see that coming either. And if that happens, we know that the Fed.
Well, they did a half last time. It did nothing for the rates.
It did nothing.
So if you guys please understand that we weren't kidding.
Right.
When I say that rate does not change mortgage rates, you know how many people, title companies, and like the super rookies of the industry
we were
posting
back and forth to each other.
Oh, rates are down. So people were posting 4-point-something%. And then I called somebody. I know what, because I got pissed off.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, because then I'm like, am I working for a company that just has high rates?
Right. Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So I called. Hey, buddy, let me ask you a question. How are you getting to 4.875? The rates had nothing to do with that half drop.
Right.
And he was like, oh, I'm a wholesaler, blah, blah, blah. Cool. Well, you had to buy the rate down. So plus your fee to close.
Right.
And he was like, no, there's no fees. send me a good faith estimate because I'm ready to refi.
Absolutely.
At this point, I'm sending you my documents. Here's my paperwork. Here's my tax return.
I know who I work for.
I know who I work for, but I'm about to make a change over here to refi my house. And it was a 4-point buy down. It was a 4-point buy down plus the fees for the lender.
But he said no fees.
But there were no fees. But he calls no fees. Again, you got to stop. Please stop, guys. Loan origination and loan this and loan that, points, however you want to call it, they're all fees.
That's it.
There is no way. Now, if you buy a discount, if there is a discount point or a bona fide discount point, because it's going to the rate, it's going to the rate. But all the rest of the fees, they're all bank fees. Now, we don't get paid like that. And I 100% will tell you guys, I do not get paid on fees.
Yeah.
And my fees are a percentage base of the loan amount. So if you buy $1 million house, your fees are higher. Let's common sense, people.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, my friend only paid $10,000 in closing fees. Well, your friend bought a $200,000 house. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, seriously, if you buy it, and I learned that buying this house, and when you start spending more money on homes, the fees just go up. Right. You're like, holy crap, my closing costs are what? Yep. And I'm in this business, you know? I think my rate's at 6% or something like that. Like my rate isn't like this crazy rate that you guys, because I'm in the biz, but it's just there. So not to keep going in circles, but yeah, rates are coming down. Yeah. People are calling.
Yep.
And that's the great part. We had calls. I did 2 qualifications yesterday. 2 sets of docs came in. Realtors are calling. Yeah. Guys, what can we do for advertising? What can we do to get people off the fence now that Trump won? What can we do? And so we're doing heavy advertising. Yep. I'm going website building for everybody. So if you're a realtor who needs a website and you need help, we offer websites for all of our realtor partners. And while we're doing that, we're helping you get into our back office. You can keep track of your loans. So our company has a lot of awesome things that you can use, all free of charge. Yep. This is all free service that we provide. There's no fees to any of this. So it's nothing that you're just, if you guys want to do something, you guys want to work together on projects and on with clients, we're happy to help,
And that's how it should be too, because even if as a realtor, I'm going to always recommend you, of course. Number one. But I do, yeah, that's true. I do the right thing also and give them a couple options, right? Just the same way we get proposals for house renovations and things like that. DJs, you're going to get a couple quotes for your DJ at your wedding. You should get a couple quotes when it comes to a mortgage. I mean, it's kind of the right thing to do.
And you had a simultaneous closing.
I did.
That was your first?
This, not my first, but yesterday was my first same day, like exact day. Buyers had to get in, sellers had to get out. Like it was a little stressful, but
those are tough.
It was tough and it was good.
Different lenders.
It was different lenders.
And that's even tougher.
And that was also tough too, because there was a little bit of a hiccup at closing. So let's see if I can break this down the easiest way possible. So I represented the sellers and sold their house. The same sellers I took, and we ended up building a new construction home with Holiday Builders up there. So I had to navigate all of the closing for the sellers and then get everything over for the new construction home and get the title company ready to close with 2 hours to spare. I mean, the buyers on the house that we sold closed at 10 a.m. and we had to close on the new house at 2 p.m.
Wow.
And
I've never had that tight of a schedule.
It was, and even with like you bought and sold simultaneously, we did the same thing, but
we were talking about a day or two in between.
Right.
Like we sold 24 hours later, we bought, and it was it was like a flip kind of, you had time. Simultaneous closing same days are a different monster if you're not holding both sides.
Right. Even as a realtor, like I need to be able, and I didn't have the buyers on this one for my listing. The buyers were represented by another agent who did not do an awesome job. And I have no problem calling her out because not only, and I'm going to put this probably all over social media too. Not only did she not show up for the showing, the initial showing for the client.
Correct. Opening the door.
That's their job. The seller and I gave the tour for the buyers. So that's number one. She didn't show up to the inspection. So that's number two.
That's even crazier.
She didn't show up for the final walkthrough. I gave the buyers the final walkthrough. That's 3. She didn't show up to closing. That's number 4. The buyers were livid.
Did they pay her?
They paid her. So with the new NAR rules now, you know that nobody is entitled to any commission unless it's contractual. And at the time, this listing had no buyer's compensation being offered.
Okay.
But I always tell everybody the sellers are open to offering compensation based on the terms of the offer.
Okay.
So this offer came in at a full asking offer, actually over asking offer, with a request for a 2% concession.
Okay.
We gave them the 2% concession, and then the buyer's agent charged the buyers an extra 1%.
And they didn't even show up to any of it.
She didn't show up to anything.
Now, let's go. I'm the client. You don't show up. Can I sue you? Can I not pay you? You didn't perform your duties. A contract has duties attached to it.
That's right. There is a process for doing it. They'll have to go through like the Department of Business professional regulations, state run. They'd probably have to get an attorney to file all the process and paperwork for it. Is it worth it? Probably not. Probably not.
I want to report a couple of realtors myself.
You and I both. But
Yeah. But is it worth the process? Like, what am I getting out of it? Nothing.
Right.
Would it help my buyers? Maybe. But I think if you're going to report on a realtor, it should be the realtor, the buyer's agent realtor, or the seller's agent realtor.
Oh, yeah.
You guys should do that. Me as a lender, guys, I'm just closing loans. So for me, I think it's, that's crazy that you had to go through that and take reins. But again, not all realtors, not all lenders are created equal.
Exactly.
And it really speaks volumes for your client. And hopefully they leave you some great reviews for that.
My clients were super
crazy.
happy. I mean, they actually, you know, my closing gift. You
Yeah.
know, what I give to my sellers when I close on their house, and they were in tears. It was an emotional moment. Not only did they upgrade to a brand new construction home, beautiful home, but they remembered what they were bringing with them from the old house. And it's hard to leave the first house you ever bought. Like, I get goosebumps talking about it. It's hard to go through, but to see that appreciation from them, and then, you know, the hugs and all of that stuff, to me, that means more than a great review on Google. Am I going to ask them for a review?
Hell yeah.
Absolutely I am.
It's reviews. I got reviews. Y'all review me.
I'm
My closure
trying to get
low, I need 5
5
stars. I actually told somebody, if you don't give me 5 stars, just don't leave the review. Y'all killing my average.
Absolutely.
Somebody left me a 4-star, and and it was like the nightmare file. And I'm like, why?
Right.
They're like, oh, well, your assistant didn't communicate. Well, that's my assistant.
Yeah, go review
that's not
her.
even me. Go. I was so pissed. I had all 5 stars. I got 1 4-star. This coming weekend, we have, I think, 8 events.
Yes. It is a nonsense.
8 events this weekend. And again, I'm not doing them all. We have a team. Luckily, we have a great team between you, myself, Alex, Chris. Ray has a couple events this weekend that he's working in conjunction with us. Chris, who else is everybody's
Alex
working this weekend. Everybody. But we're very thankful to be extremely busy. But there's a lot going on. Doing a lot of galas this weekend. I have 2 galas this weekend, and then a massive gala with 2 16 by 8 foot tall massive LED walls. So that's going to be a lot of production.
Something that started as just, hey, can you come DJ and bring some lights?
This is why, guys, when you do stuff, I feel like I should have asked more questions, but I got a phone call from a party planner, an event planner, and she was like, hey, I just need bring me 2 speakers, a mic or 2, and just play some music. How much? That's going to cost you X. Okay, cool. See you there. Can you bring some uplighting? Sure. It rolls. It's on a case. Sure. For you, it's a gala. It's for a kids event. No problem.
Yeah.
Hey, do you have LED walls? I do. Can we go 30 feet? We can. Send me that price point. Wall comes out. Gave him a bid on the wall. We went from 200 people to 400 people. Oh. Now we're at 450.
Yeah.
And the people don't understand is you have to now separate that 30-foot long wall, which would have been cool because we can, section it off and do really cool things and animations on it. So now we're doing 2 massive walls on it, and that's going to be that's next week. It's going to be an amazing show. So looking forward to that.
For sure.
But now you're talking about line array sound. So now we bring out the big dogs, and then we're sending sound 360 to a room, on top of doing a secondary room for a silent auction at PJ National. So there's a lot going on. And then, again, the Cruz Building was amazing this week. That was last week. And then what else we have coming up?
I have a gala. We're going
to Keys this weekend.
I got a wedding tomorrow night. This is a Thursday as opposed to our normal Wednesday. Tomorrow night I've got a wedding down in the Keys, driving down for that, and then coming right back for a gala on Saturday.
And we're in the same venue, so we're really hoping. So I'm at the Beach Club Palm Beach on Friday, and our setups are very similar to equipment needs, other than I'm taking the TVs down and you're doing a different TV format.
TVs, yeah.
So I'm really hoping it would be amazing if we can leave the gear there, and that just helps you for a solid hour to break down, because that's, setting up wires for rotating heads, be able to leave everything just set up, literally just walk away, helps me with breakdown. I get home an hour earlier. So hopefully that flies. Any house track of the week?
House track of the week. Yeah. Tell me.
So upcoming, we have our DJ come upcoming to get into that.
Yeah.
DJ upcoming
2 weeks.
And 2 weeks from now. And so if you listen to this podcast, you got time, so listen to it. Alex and I were asked to do our Dare set at Clematis Social. First time we've ever been locally to do a 14 table set. Again, I mentioned it last podcast, other than Sunfest.
Yeah.
At a venue since Off the Hookah. So it's going to be Alex and I on stage. We're setting up a massive DJ booth that holds all of our gear, and we're going to go. And Mal P came out last week with Murder. And it is amazing. Up in the streets, they call it. And it is a dirty track. Mal P's fun because they used to say he never dances, and then now he's like moving. Now he's getting it. But we're excited to be there. I'm not a big fan of DJing locally. I wasn't. I thought downtown was kind of dead. Downtown has surprised me.
It's coming back.
Downtown has surprised me.
It's coming
People
back.
used to ask, can you DJ? And I'm like, no. Downtown, no. Because there was a point where it was like so stagnant. There was nobody down there.
It was so
dead.
much of the same.
It was so much of the same. It was like Monarchy and all these places that were just
everything was the same.
It just wasn't great. It wasn't a good look. And I think Banco has done a great job remodeling. Yep. They've done some crazy stuff. Clematis Social, I walked in there, and we've been in that building since it was Monkey Club.
That's right.
So the memories I have in those four walls were amazing. So to be back there is kind of cool, and to obviously with Cleve and Ian is amazing. So we get to show what we do at Dare, which is awesome, because that was just an exclusive thing for them, and now we're just doing it in West Palm. We're like, do it.
The other thing too about downtown is that we spent so many years DJing down there and saw how busy it was. We saw that the money never reflected the outcome of the night, and pricing and what they were paying downtown West Palm stayed the same for years.
And off the hookah, but we had Thursdays, for example.
Yeah.
Ladies in free and drink free till like midnight or 1 o'clock it was, whatever the promo was.
Yep.
They did $60,000 to $80,000 nights in there on a Thursday.
Right.
That wasn't even a weekend,
right.
and we crushed it. Right. And people, they didn't care about the free drink. Everyone just bought tables and bottles and the premium stuff. I did see a lot of tables last time I played at Clematis Social, which I was shocked. I thought people were done buying tables. I thought West Palm, that wasn't a thing anymore, because I see 1 or 2 tables here and there.
Yeah.
Birthday parties, they give tables out, right? But I actually physically saw reservations coming in and stuff was flowing. So I feel like that's coming back. I feel like it's a thing. I thought clubs were like dying.
I'm a fan of tables and bottles. I would much rather have my own space.
Hell yeah.
Have the bottle right there.
We got adult money now. That's
fighting through the bar to get a drink. No,
I'm too old to excuse me. No at the bar. I don't want to deal with that. Yeah, we're buying bottles, but I didn't think that was a thing in West Palm anymore, and I do see that now. I went out. I'm like, all right, people are going hard. Let's do it.
West Palm has also transitioned into more. It's more appealing when you go out downtown to go to like a 1, 2, 3 day Tura, because of just like that cool bar vibe. And they've done a great job there too, especially when we're talking about renovations and upgrades. They
did a great job with 1, 2, 3 day Tura and 4 great venues. It's a vibe in there. It's not like they're going because they want this club atmosphere. They're just going because it's a vibe. They have great DJs there. Great DJs. Dave, Alex, everybody plays there. So they have great DJs. And it is a vibe. And then you have Lenora's on Sunday. So Sundays became a big thing downtown.
Yep.
The Ben has their thing, and they have an ice skating rink. I just saw a commercial.
I saw that.
For.
You saw who did the lighting for that, right?
JM. I think JM did that, right? So good for him. Glad he's doing well, and I'm glad the company did a great job. It looks great.
Amazing.
It looks amazing.
It looks amazing. The pictures
looks amazing. Pictures look amazing. Amit had posted some videos of it. I was curious to see if it's gonna hold. I saw a lot of water.
Apparently,
I saw a lot of water.
Apparently, we should text Rocco. He was there with the kids. Apparently, it's good and will stay frozen up to 90 degrees.
Okay, I saw. They're skating, and then I saw the water coming with it, and I'm like, if I fall on my entire jeans is going to be soaked.
Hoffman's Chocolates. Did you ever go there for when they had the Christmas trail? Yeah, I thought it was the greatest thing. I've gone as an adult.
Is that still a thing, or is that
It
dead?
is, and it's not that great.
Okay.
But they had an ice.
It was great for us.
It was, yeah. Not so great as an adult. They had an ice skating rink that they brought in probably 4 or 5 years ago. Kids were young.
Okay.
And we went there, and it was like the size of your living room. And we were trying to skate around.
My living room is not small.
My wife, growing up in upstate New York, brings her own ice skates. I'm like, you're absurd.
No pa tanto.
It's for real.
Not
but
that
it was,
serious.
I mean, and that's ice skating in South Florida, unfortunately. But the Bend looks like they did a better job.
It
than
looks like a
Hoffman's.
good job. They have like concessions and stuff there.
Yeah.
So that looked really cool. I feel like there's enough going on downtown, and when Roxy's opens up, it's going to be a big change. It's going to be a game changer down there.
Do we have a date yet?
No. So I was supposed to go to Roxy's yesterday for a meeting, and my truck broke down. Brand new truck.
Both of ours in the same
Both
week.
in the same. My truck. I pulled out the driveway just to go to the gym in the morning, like I do every morning. I've been going to the gym. I'm kidding. So we go. So I was on my way to the gym, and my hit drive, and the car shut down. And I was like, "What the heck?" And you can't turn if you own a Suburban or you own a Yukon, whatever brand of GM you own. You cannot shift a new truck. 2021 and up. I had to Google it.
Yeah.
You cannot shift it into neutral.
That seems like the most unsafe factory
I was in the middle of the
street.
street in my neighborhood. Good thing I'm in like a cul-de-sac. There ain't no traffic.
Yeah.
But I'm in the middle of the street. And I couldn't move the car. So the neighbor's like, "Oh, I'll help you push." And we tried to push.
It ain't moving.
It ain't moving, but I was in neutral, and as soon as we gained a little momentum, it shifted into park.
Really?
But it was weird because when I hit the button, it said not safe to shift, which didn't make sense to me. So it went back. Regardless, it went to the dealership, got it fixed. One part. It took 5 minutes to put in. Dealership got me going. But it's just like the point. It's a brand new truck, guys.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Killing my vibe right now. It's been a great podcast.
It has.
We had a lot to talk about today. We had the whole congratulations Trump on the sweep, on the win. We had some great weekend, upcoming events. Again, Clematis Social, 2 weeks to 23rd. I'm not great on dates, but you're going to see the flyers coming.
Oh, yeah. I might
You'll
as
see
well
the
just put 'em
flyers.
on.
We're going to post
I
it.
started putting the picture of the track for the house track of the week.
Okay.
I'll start putting up when you have flyers. I'll start putting those up on the YouTube video, which again, if you haven't already, you should have liked and subscribed on YouTube. You should have followed us on YouTube, on Instagram.
Hopefully. We're getting there. We got some followers. We're getting a little bit.
We're getting there.
We're getting there. The
Downloads
commercials.
is good.
The commercials are working great.
Thank you. Yeah.
I got a lot of views on the commercials. Commercials go. I feel like people love the commercials. I'm just going to start putting out just sections of commercials.
If it wasn't such a pain in the butt, 2025, we're going to hire
a producer
and just have somebody else doing all.
If anyone knows how to do all this, you want to maybe a job. It might pay eventually.
Especially if they can remember to post the episode every Wednesday.
If you can
because I
remember to
forgot.
post the episode on Wednesday, I'm gonna share it to your social medias, and we're gonna get better at all this.
I'll start putting up all of the like important flyers and things will be on the YouTube video. Obviously, if you're listening to the audio version, you've heard us talk about it. So just write it down, sketch it, do something. But I'm loving the way this is going. Man. We're almost to episode 10. We got to bring Javier back.
10, we're bringing Javier back.
Yeah.
I think we're bringing Javier back episode because people are asking,
yeah,
when is Javier coming back again? I'm like, ooh, Javier.
We got to start him. Actually,
He's turning 50 this year.
I was just going to say, yeah.
I think we're doing a big trip. Big trip. That's another episode. We'll talk about that on the next one.
Yep.
Thank you for coming into my Christmas wonderland.
Ho, ho, ho.
Ho, ho, ho. We ready to go.
That's the tagline for this week's episode.
Ho, ho, ho. We ready to go.
We're ready to go. We'll see you guys next week.
See you guys in the next